Welcome back to the final part of our tbs eFM 11th anniversary special, Live, Love, Life in Korea. I'm Na-Seung-yeon.
And I'm your host, Alex Sigrist. You know, just like our program title, we've really been able to meet a group of expats who not only live, but love life in Korea. And really, they're paying back by spreading the Korean culture in their own ways back to their home country and sharing a little bit of their home country with Korea as well. And even for myself, a lot of the work that I get to do is centered on this, showing Korea to the world.
Right, Alex, I think I forgot to ask you actually, what brought you to Korea initially?
So initially, it was a trip with my university, and it was with the business program, and I came and I was like, I can't be here for just 10 days, I need to come back. So I came back as a teacher, and I brought one of these tiny little handheld cameras. I started videotaping it, and after the first year, I started putting all these videos online to show it to my family. I was like, I gotta stay here. And just like the culture, everything just kind of kept me here. The food, the people, the language. And a few years later, I started to properly make YouTube videos about Korea to share with my friends and family back home, and had a little bit more fun doing that.
But it sounds like when you first came and you were recording everything on that small camera, you were already sort of inspired, or you're already aspiring to be a YouTuber?
Yeah, it was before that was a huge thing, and it was just fun for me to put together these video clips and kind of make these almost like montages of my life, because my family had no idea what Korea was like. It was just a foreign concept.
Your uncle
literally
didn't know if we had electricity here.
I don't know,
right?
he still might not. He's a little, I don't know. But so it's a great way to really also let people at home know that, don't worry, I'm at a safe place. It's not what you hear in the news. It's a wonderful country, and hopefully one day they can come visit. And so far, my mom, my dad, my brother have all visited.
Right. But I mean, it is true that a lot of people have a very narrow view, of sometimes even warped view of Korea. So we are going to share in the last part of our show the top 5 things that people should know about Korea.
The must know about Korea. If you haven't figured this out yet, I mean, you've got a whole world to discover.
Right. So each of our 4 guests have actually sent us their top 3 things that we should know, and we've just compiled the best 4. So we'll be right back with some interesting facts that you need to know, you must know about Korea. Welcome back to our tbs eFM 11th anniversary special, Live, Love, Life in Korea. We're joined in the studio by 4 expat guests, Kwan, Tanya, Logan, and Nicola. And as we heard before, they've all been living in Korea for a different number of years, but I'm sure there are things that they believe anyone planning to come to Korea should know, must know about the Korea. But before we get to their answers, Alex, what do you tell anyone who's thinking about considering moving out here?
Oh, the first thing is it will just open your mind in a way you never expected if you've never had that experience. Since I've been here too long, I think the other thing I mentioned now is like there are so many things to do once you're here outside of Seoul. The country is beautiful for traveling. It's actually an incredible tourist destination once you live here. So whether you're going to Jeju or the East Coast or Yeosu, I think people think it's a small country, but there's so many things you can do here. And that is the thing that I hope that people who have never been here, people who live in Seoul, kind of figure out.
I mean, that is one of the perks of living in a small country. You can travel anywhere in the country within a couple of hours as well, right? So we've asked our guests to send in their top 3 answers, and our staff taken all those answers and they compiled the top 5. So we're going to be starting with number 5 and go all the way up to number 1.
All right, let's do it. What is the number 5 must-know fact about Korea? I know who sent this one in. It is child care system. So I'm going to go ahead and look over towards the family woman here.
I know I'm one of those boring people that just talks about being a parent. That's what I've turned into now that we have a kid.
But no, you chose child care system in Korea. Why? Why is that something you need to know about Korea?
Well, firstly, it's usually free or very low cost for parents, and you consider comparing this to Western countries, it's thousands of dollars per month sometimes for most Western countries, where in Korea it's either free, and the government gives you money for having a child.
Right, you get some stipend in the beginning away, right?
A lot of things are covered. And then so daycare is just so accessible. You probably noticed how many daycares there are, like every corner.
Yeah.
The teachers are so loving and kind. And then also society in general is very accepting of children here. You know, you can go to a restaurant and your baby is crying and the restaurant ajumma will be like, oh, I'll just hold the baby for you, you know, while you eat. So that's something that I really appreciate, having a young child in Korea. There's just so many benefits.
Yes, I mean, unfortunately, Korea, I think, has the lowest birth rate, and so the government has come up
Right.
with all these measures, hopefully, to encourage more people like yourself to
Yes.
have more and more babies. So your son right now is how old?
His international age is 2 years old, so
International
Korean age is 3
Uh-huh.
years old.
And how are you taking care of him then? What sort of systems are you making use of?
So we have a local daycare that's just 5 minutes walk, and he can go there anytime between 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So, and we have a flexible schedule, so whatever suits us with our schedule. And his teachers are just wonderful. And then, you know, there's local parks, and we know all the local families. It's just such a community feeling, because of course Korea is a community-orientated society. So I really enjoy being a mother here.
Okay. Any of our other guests
I've
compelled to maybe start a family
Yeah,
after hearing
it's
about
a hard
this?
question to ask people.
All just kind of looking around.
Yeah, I mean, I plan on being in Korea for a long time, so this ends up being an eventuality for me.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping they keep these incentives going for whenever I decide to have a child. But I imagine that I will be taking advantage of this childcare system at some point in my life.
Very good to hear that. All right, shall we move on to number 4?
The big reveal, the number 4 must-know thing about Korea is... Oh, couples matchy-matchy. Oh, yes.
So I thought this might be you, Alex, but
I did not send this one
it was
in.
sent in by one
So
of our guests.
let's find out who sent it in. So looking at everyone here, any guesses as to who sent this in? We have the answer. Do you have any guesses to who? I see you're looking at. Was that you're
The
looking
only
at
thing I see
Kwan?
is your ring, so.
Oh, you're looking at me.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Why don't you start us off by talking about your ring there? Your very nice ring.
This is something you would never, ever, ever do in America because it resembles too much kind of engagement culture.
Uh-huh.
If it is not,
It looks like a wedding ring, a wedding
It does.
band.
It's in America. You don't really do it. Some people have promise rings, but if you have a ring like this, it's a sign that you are done. You are going to engagement
Off
or
the
marriage,
market.
off the market, and it's something I just said I would never do 10 years ago.
Mhm.
And I still don't wear matching T-shirts out. I will say I have matching shoes and matching headbands to wear at amusement parks. I'm starting to buy into it, but I'm not the one who chose it. Let's talk to Kwan. Let's put him on the spot
Okay,
here.
Kwan.
Why did you choose this one?
I just thought it was so bizarre because the first time I came to Korea, I had no idea there was so much passion and so many couples everywhere. You know, the first time I came, I was single. I'm still single, but you can't help but notice that there's a lot of PDA. There's a lot of just love. It's really romantic, and the fact that they're so creative with different types of fashion choices, hairstyles, and somehow they make it match and makes it work. And I always thought that was something very, very inspirational in terms of just how committed they are to really just go out there and show that they care about each other.
The word you
Yeah.
first used to describe this couple matchy-matchy
Yeah.
culture was bizarre.
Bizarre.
And then you moved up to inspirational.
Well, the fact is, it took me 9 years to get to inspirational.
Do
you
I
know?
inspire you, Kwan?
You do, Alex.
So you think you can do the whole matchy-matchy outfit and the matchy-matchy shoes?
I think
and
that would
the-
be so fun. You
Yeah.
know, just to be creative with whoever your partner is and just think of something unique and just go out for the day.
Does anyone have a favorite matching outfit? I've got mine, but anyone have a favorite matching item that they've seen on the street or something that's still bizarre to you?
Not on the street, but there's couple matching underwear as well. And the
Uh-huh.
funny thing is when they break up, the girl throws away her underwear, but the guy will still be wearing it
Oh, no.
later. Because, guys
Yeah.
don't like to go buy their own underwear.
I always wondered about those matching hoodies that will have a rainbow that connects, that if you have to stand on the correct side, otherwise it doesn't fit.
Mhm.
So what do you do when the rainbow breaks?
It's heartbreaking to have, you have the
Yeah.
one half.
Well, let's ask Logan. Your T-shirt you mentioned was given to you by an ex-girlfirland. Did she
Given
have
slash
a
I took
matchy
it.
one in a pinky one?
No,
Pink
to be
color?
honest, I've never done any of the matching.
Not the
stuff.
matching,
Just
actually,
because
though.
I would have taken you for a
All
couple
of-
of matchy guy.
All of my long distance or my
Long
long
term,
relationships have been in America, not in Korea. So
Ah.
I see.
the chance hasn't come yet.
Do you have that in another culture? The only thing I could think about in America was you could wear matching sports jerseys. Is the only thing I could kind of compare it to. Go to
But
the
you can
game.
do that with your best friend too. So
Yes,
it's
that's
like,
true. I could wear matching. Yeah.
You do that
Correct.
with your best friend and you don't
Oh,
get.
we've totally.
But we don't get
tried to
matching
match.
underwear with our best friend.
No,
just,
no, no.
just the jersey.
Yeah, just the outside. Yeah.
Nicola, did your husband want to do the matchy look too?
Oh, our friends did it for us when we were still living in Sydney, so I really wasn't that comfortable with it. And a friend gave us matching T-shirts to wear, and
So it's a thing in Australia too.
there is 40,000 Koreans living in Sydney.
Oh, it's the
Wow.
Koreans
Yeah,
living
yeah.
in Australia who are doing it.
so I think I put it on for a photo and then I was like, no. But now I want to get the family ones. The
Yeah.
family ones are great, and like the mum will have like a slightly different colour pattern, but it still matches, and then the kid has a cute little outfit. So I'm completely on board with the whole family matching clothes.
Yeah. What we're saying is, if anyone's listening and thinking about coming to Korea, and you're like, oh, it's really weird, just give it 10 years, you'll be fine.
Exactly.
You will eventually be all about it.
The couple ring is quite out there. Can I just ask, how did you come about to do this? What does it signify exactly, the couple ring?
I believe it signifies that when you're out, other girls will be like, he's not available.
Okay, so
But also symbolically, you're together. So they do match. They're not exactly the same. Like I've got one with less cubits, not real diamonds.
Mhm.
She's got one with more, but they've got the same color pattern. And I think it's just kind of a way, like, so there's a cute side of it too, just joking aside. Kind of knowing that someone else out there is wearing it too, and when you're having a bad day at work, I know that's been helpful to her as well. To just like, and then to me, like you know what, things are tough, but at least I've got someone else who is thinking about me. So it's a physical reminder of what real love that any culture experiences.
Oh, that's very nice. Yes.
Aw.
Yeah, we mentioned that had a lot of Koreans have these couple matchy rings, and then once they get married, they don't wear wedding bands. Have you noticed that?
It's like reverse.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's a physical reminder, and then once we get married, we don't need the physical reminder. We know that we are married, and so I guess.
Very, very fun fact. I've heard if you do break up with a relatively expensive ring, you do whatever you want. You either throw it in the Han River or you sell it and buy food and drinks for all your friends.
Oh,
So that's it's not a total waste, I guess.
okay, but we won't go there with you.
Not gonna have to.
Not
We're
gonna
good.
happen. And we are going to move on to number 3 on our
All right.
list.
The number 3 must-know thing about Korea is, oh yeah, the medical system here. Okay, this was written by an American, I'm guessing. I don't know.
No, not Nicola. No. Okay.
Let's
Australia's
see.
okay.
All right.
All right, we have it, and I'm gonna go straight to him. It was written by Logan.
Yes, and what a perfect time to talk about
Exactly.
it. Other than now.
As he's been coughing and.
So how much? Like you're a little sick now. You've got some medicine. You went to the States. How much is that gonna run you?
So without insurance, I've been to the hospital 3 times in the past week. If I was in America, it'd easily be over $800 to $1,000 by now. So
800.
quite
Wow.
a lot.
And so here you probably spent what, less than 50, 100.
So each time it's been about $20 and then maybe
Jeez.
$10 for the medicine. So it's quite a bit cheaper here. And not only is it cheaper, but there's like small hospitals everywhere, right? So you just walk outside, walk down the street, and boom, you're there.
And you can literally walk in as well. You don't
Right,
always
right.
need a reservation, or you can use your app on your phone to make a reservation very easily as well.
And it also doesn't take, again, only from a state's perspective, but sometimes you'll walk in and it'll be 2 hours before you see the doctor, even though there's only 5 or 6 people in the waiting room, right? And then you go in and then you're still waiting to see the doctor. Here it's, okay, you sign in, oh, Logan Montgomery, okay. You walk in, the doctor, say, okay, you're sick. Here's medicine.
Yeah. That's the thing is, and you get there and you also get incredible service because, as we know, like in test scores internationally, Koreans perform well in science and math. You're getting some of the brightest minds here as well, but still, I feel like it's a steal, the prices that I'm getting as an American, I should say.
Yeah.
And of course, once you get the prescription, you just have to sort of usually head down to the basement of the building.
Yeah, usually always either the first floor or another floor. You just walk into the pharmacy and here's your prescription. You wait for maybe 30 seconds, a minute, and then they give you
30 seconds,
I think,
even
yeah.
that much?
a few minutes. But
Right.
yeah, even that in America would take minimum 30 minutes, sometimes the next
Exactly.
day. So it's the whole system is just so easy. That's why I've been 3 times.
There's one I go. There's one I went to, one of the Yakux, the pharmacies, and they give you ice cream every time you go.
Or
So I always
Yakult
go to that
too.
one.
Yeah.
Those are amazing. Now, hate to ask this, we do have a mother here, but anyone else have an experience at a hospital like that? Have you had to go at all, Tatiana?
Yes, I have. I had to go many times actually
Oh.
because, well, we changed the place. Of course, we changed our lifestyle, the food, and sometimes it appears something strange in our body. So it's
Yeah.
okay to go to the hospital. And of course, I have the insurance, and I paid really just $3 or $4 for a checkup. It was really cheap,
Yeah.
so I was really satisfied with the service system. Yes.
I mean, you're fluent in Korean, but I know that a lot of these, especially the larger hospitals, they offer services in English too, or in different languages, don't they?
They have international care room or centers, how they call them, and they provide even the service in English if you really need it. In my case, it was not necessary, but for others, I think it's good to know.
And all the doctors that I've ever met in Korea, I'm pretty sure they all speak English because when they're going to medical school, a lot of the textbooks are all in English, so they can all speak English at least to some degree.
Kwan, have you ever been to a hospital here in Korea?
I've only been for checkups. I'm relatively healthy. Like I feel like I don't know. I haven't gotten sick.
Oh, I can't
Knock on-
empathize
knock-
with any of you.
knock
I'm
on
so
wood.
healthy. But the checkups actually are
the
amazing
checkups
here
are actually
too.
really great and very efficient, and they take you to so many rooms. It's like an all-in-one buffet almost.
Yeah.
You know, you go to different.
Just poke me
They're
with
so
everything.
efficient. There's a checklist, and they are basically like a conveyor belt. You just go swing to the next room, and you basically check off everything. And by the time you're done, it's like 30 minutes later. You have everything ready, and if they need you to get medicine, they'll tell you. And it was very, very cheap.
Super efficient. I know
Yeah.
a lot of friends who actually come into Korea, especially just to get that
Mhm.
physical done
Exactly.
every year or so.
Was it pretty efficient? Was it nice being there when you had your child?
Yeah, I actually had to go in the ambulance service twice during my pregnancy, and my son was 6 weeks premature. So we are very used to the hospital system here, and all the nurses were so kind, and it's so efficient. And even the government supports if you have a premature baby for the first few years, you pay almost nothing for any of their checkups or medical care. The government is really doing a lot to make people have babies.
Wow. Yeah. How is this number 3? This sounds like this is glowing. This is number 1 or number 2, but
Because we've got some really strong candidates for number 1 and 2.
We do though.
And we have to reveal number 2 now, which was a very close number 1,
Oh, it was
especially
almost.
from the staff here.
It was. So this is the number 2 thing you must know about Korea. It is
Fried chicken.
Korean chicken, ladies and gentlemen.
Chinanim, yes.
Oh goodness, we have fried chicken in our home countries, but it's definitely different. Anyone want to jump in on this?
Who wrote this actually?
I wrote it because
You wrote
Fine,
it?
okay.
the real KFC is in Seoul. It's in Korea. I
Korean fried chicken.
Korean
I-
fried chicken. That's right.
did not know it was this good, and so many variety.
Uh-huh.
And I lived in Sinchon, so that college neighborhood. There's beer house, chicken, everywhere. So it's basically drunk food. If you're just basically like hanging out with your friends at the bar or the club nearby, you just go swing by and you grab fried chicken and beer with your friends.
Yeah.
It's classic. You don't. As an American, never thought I would combine beer with chicken, but in Korea somehow that combination is so brilliant.
Well, let's go to an expert on this one. So, from the south of the United States, from Alabama, fried chicken, barbecuing, that's a big part of the culture down there, right?
Yeah, it's pretty popular.
How does that compare to, let's say, chicken restaurants here or chicken culture here?
To be honest, I don't know what kind of magic they put in Korean chicken, but
Right?
so I used to live in California for a little bit, and for like 3 months, I worked at a Korean fried chicken place.
Oh, so
even
now
after
you
that-
do know the secret.
I still don't understand. There's something in just Koreans, they make this magical chicken, and it's just amazing, and I don't get it. Like, I've never been, I don't know about you, but I've never been to any kind of place in America that serves
No.
like
But what's
fried
the
chicken.
major difference? I mean, like you say, the South is also well known for their fried chicken
I don't
and
know, maybe
fried
because
foods.
a few beers in, everything tastes good.
It could be the sauce. It could be anything. It could be the atmosphere as well. I haven't found I can't find like any chicken dish in Korea that I like better in America, with one exception, and that would be the chicken wings, and that's only because
Hot wings, kind of?
yeah, hot wings, because they're steroid-fed chicken in America. They're really big. Everything else though, other than Korea, the chicken is amazing.
I cannot imagine having chicken without beer. I mean, I know we're a morning broadcast, but it just goes together so perfectly. And then the creative combinations that they come up with,
Oh my.
the snowflakes or the sprinkling of all these different ingredients. You've tried them all?
And the fact that it's so accessible, you can order them online, go to the Han River, and they'll deliver right there, and you can eat on the waterfront with your friends. And I think
Oh, yeah.
that's what makes it to the next level, because it's not just how I'm going to like a restaurant with my friends and grabbing a bucket of chicken. I can just literally eat chicken anywhere, and order that right off my app.
Yeah. And it gets popular too from like movies and stuff. I remember, was it Pyeodaejeon Kade, the drama, My Love from a Star, and also this summer, Good Kanjigo came out. Did anyone see Extreme Job? The new thing is now it's suwon galbi chicken. Suwon, like this is suwon galbi sauce. Oh my gosh, they come up with new things all the time. It's absolutely amazing.
Did you try it, Tanya? You were nodding vigorously.
Yes, yes, they are
Suwon galbi
delicious,
chicken?
yes.
Did you like it?
Of course, yes. We mostly were accustomed to the barbecue style chicken in our country, so but here trying fried chicken and with beer, especially I'm the wine person, but here I cannot imagine the fried chicken without beer.
Yes. You could actually I've tried it with wine, and I have to say, as a big wine lover, wine goes with everything, and chicken goes with everything, so no losing combination there.
Oh,
I just wanted to add, maybe it's more than the chicken, but when you order chicken, you always are eating together, right? You're not ordering it for just yourself. That's something that's kind of special about Korea. There's this culture of eating together as a family. Like, even if
yeah, that could be.
nobody has plates, you're all just picking it with your hands, and it's fine. And I think that's part of what makes it special.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've eaten chicken by myself. Okay.
And even the day-old chicken is best, That's pretty good too when you heat it up, and there are so many different ways to heat it up. You said you lived in Daegu, right? Did you ever go to the chicken festival there? There's a chimek festival even
that's
in
right.
Daegu.
I have been one time, yes, but
It sounds crazy. There's a festival
it's
around
pretty
this.
crazy that there's an entire festival dedicated to just chicken and beer. I mean, hundreds of types of chicken, hundreds of types of beer. If you lived to see the next day, you'll be pretty full. But
All right. So that was a strong contender for number one, especially among our staff here as well. But there was one other answer that beat it out.
The number one must-know thing about Korea is Jung, the culture of Jung. And this is no surprise that we only have one person who hasn't given us one. So that's right, Tatiana.
yes, and I think the wisdom of good relationship here in Korea lies exactly in 청이 들었다. So actually, it's very difficult to explain to foreigners what means 청이, because it's not just simple some affectionate feeling that some dictionaries are giving. It's more a combination of love, affection, care. Respect to each other. So I'm really impressed of this word, and I feel the people's energy, and I feel the people's attention and care for me. For example, when I was still learning Korean, and we were going with foreigners to have our breakfast or dinner, and suddenly the lady is bringing us a lot of side dishes, and we tried our Korean, and they saw we were pretty bad, but she was so nice, she was so kind, she was so supportive. Or you can see, maybe you've seen guys in the transportation system while you are riding the bus or the subway, you leave your seat to an old lady and a granny, and she gives you back suddenly some yogurt. And I was so impressed that we don't know each other, but they express this love to others in such a nice, kind way that I really think that Chongyi is something very strong here in Korea and makes people connect to each other, establish a good network, and live in peace because we are in a global society and we try to keep our relationships warm to each other. So I think this is very important in
Very
Korea.
good
Chongyi.
answer. Very good answer. I guess
Sounds like
yeah.
a really good citizen of Seoul right there.
Oh.
I like
he's
that.
just kind of got that inbred, huh? The honorary citizen of Seoul. Nicola, have you experienced Cheong?
You used to live in the countryside, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's where the Cheong is
Two
especially strong.
years with my in-laws in the countryside. Yes, so it is the thing like Tatiana was saying that people will just give you things all the time, and that's sort of the physical manifestation of it, which is really lovely. We talked before about how there's not much of the small talk culture here, but I think this type of thing makes up for it. When you do connect with somebody, there can be a really nice feeling there.
Absolutely. I think Koreans do tend to place more importance on actions rather than words, and they can tend to be a little bit shy when it comes to expressing their emotions through the words. But Cheong, you can get it in an instant meeting or through lots of time. You get myunjung as well. So that connection and affection for people kind of brings the community together, I think, as well.
Yeah, so there we go. Childcare system, couple, matchy-matchy, medical service in Korea, Korean chicken, culture of Jung, the 5 things you need to know about Korea. Thank you guys for coming on. This has absolutely been wonderful to have all your perspectives on this. Before we close, though, are there any last words that you would like to deliver on this day?
I think for people coming to Korea, always have an open mind. I think sometimes people, when they first come, there can be so many culture shocks. But really, when you come to another country, have an open mind. And having an open mind in Korea, you'll see so many wonderful, positive things in Korea.
So keep an open mind from Nicola. But Kwan?
Yeah, I also think that if you come here, especially if you're a 유학생, if you're on studying abroad, definitely use the opportunity to get out of the comfort zone, not just stick to people you know. Really make friends with Korean people, because when I came here, these connections have been the connections that have stayed with me the most and taught me the most about the country through the eyes of the locals. And don't just use your time here as a tourist, but really try to embrace the culture as a local too.
One way to do that, of course, would be learning the
Learn
local
the language, of course.
And you get that from the locals. And
Yeah,
Tati?
I would say you should start with small things. Make your contribution with small things, and don't wait for awards or volunteering hours or something like that, because I know this is quite
That will come.
famous in Korea. Yeah, but make your small contribution to people.
The only thing I would say is if anybody's thinking of coming to Korea, there's absolutely nothing to be afraid of. It's such an open country. There's plenty of people that speak enough English. They're all going to be nice to you. Everybody will help you. And like you said, it's a really easy country to meet friends in. So.
Okay, well, I want to thank all of you guys for joining us here today and sharing with us your stories. We also want to thank the Blue Wine Jazz Band for performing in the show as well.
And a big thank you to all our listeners. Thank you so much for joining us, TBS eFM, for the last 11 years. And I hope you continue to tune in to all our great programs.
And closing out our 11th anniversary special, Live, Love, Life in Korea, is Michael Bublé. Not on the studio, but we've got him on standby with The Best Is Yet to Come. And yes, from all of us here at TBS eFM, the best is yet to come. So continue to tune into our station. I was Nasungyun.
And I'm Alex Sigrist, and this is From Everybody.
Happy birthday,
TBS eFM.